All right, next one. Okay, we have apparently a virus that's being spread by mosquitoes all around China. Now, keep in mind, I take anything the New York Post says with a grain of salt. But if this is true, we have a potential problem. Because we've already had killer wasps come over, murder hornets. Yep, the murder hornets come over here. Found 4 nests up in Washington State, and they had to develop specialized suits with the CDC coming out and destroying the nest and taking care of all the murder hornets. So this is real. This is very real.
The videos coming out of China and spreading across social media are eerily familiar, reminiscent from the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So what is happening? And do you need to worry? China is experiencing an outbreak of chikungunya, a painful mosquito-borne virus. It has rapidly spread to about 8,000 patients in just 4 weeks, mainly across China's Guangdong province to the south.
I'm curious if it's a rural area, a suburban area, or a city, or if it's along like an open area where they still do field harvesting. Because mosquitoes being common in city limits, I don't see that often where I live.
The city of Foshan hit the
They're more often active in forests, near swamps, riverbeds, mainly areas with a lot of moisture.
Quarantine wards and hospitals, where they're placed in beds covered by mosquito nets, where they have to remain for a week or until they test negative. In a massive effort to curb its further spread, masked Chinese soldiers have been dousing public spaces with insecticide. Authorities have begun releasing elephant mosquitoes, whose larvae devour the smaller virus-carrying mosquitoes, and releasing mosquito-eating fish into Foshan's public ponds. Residents have been ordered to remove
Ponds look like Lake Erie.
Mosquitoes breed from their homes and threatened with fines up to $1,000.
Oh no, sorry, not Lake Erie, Maumee Bay. Maumee Bay.
According to the BBC. Recent record
Maumee Bay
outbursts
River.
led to perfect conditions for mosquitoes to breed in stagnant water.
China is a huge country. The mosquito can grow with the size of a 1 pound coin. A UK 1 pound coin, there's all the clean water it requires. And every time it rains, you are going to have thousands, if not millions, of 1 pound coin volumes of water that can grow the mosquitoes.
The level of response has not been seen since COVID and showed just how jittery Chinese officials are about.
So this might just be something exclusive to them. Okay, not so bad then. But it would suck if they migrated over here. That'd be super bad. And that means more insect repellent for us.
About the potential for another major health crisis. Despite the fact that the swift response by the Chinese government has its citizens online comparing the 2020 pandemic that killed.
Well, you can't blame them. You can't blame them, but China's has had 3 major incidents. First the bird flu, then COVID, and now this mosquito thing.
Millions of people. Chikungunya,
and this is in less than 30 years.
Is vastly different. Though this.
And there's a major reason for that, honestly. Biggest reason for that. Why you see this more in China than anywhere else. Because China does not have any regulation for its food manufacturing and the manhandling of food products, which creates the spread of bacteria. Like, they have no regulation, no FDA, no health department, no CDC. They've just got them, the CCP. That's it. That's all they got.
Symptoms can be agonizing. The disease typically isn't deadly.
It develops after a few days. The individual will get fever. Very much like dengue, with headache, muscle aches, but the joint pains. The joint pains are very prominent. It can appear in any part of the joints, and then it could even affect the small arms or small joints of the hands, and thereafter it persists on.
The name chikungunya actually came from a Swahili dialect,
Ooh, excuse
which
me.
means to bend over. Right? And the reason is because your joints are so painful, you have to bend over to relieve the pain, and that's how the virus the disease got its name.
Perhaps most significantly, it is not spread between humans. The only way of transmission is through the bites of infected Aedes mosquitoes. But that.
I mean, there's no different from West Nile. a lot of diseases and viruses are spread through mosquito bites because of the saliva that they leak when they're drinking.
Doesn't mean it can't spread rapidly and widely.
I think the real driver of
I mean, this is what actually was part of an issue with the Black Plague, with fleas biting into rodents and rodents carrying the virus and then spreading it to humans.
Outbreaks like chikungunya and all that are travelers. The reason is because not everyone who gets infected with chikungunya virus would develop symptoms. So you could still be very well, but you're carrying the virus. And so because of this increased rate of movement of people from one country to another, from one region to another, and made possible by long distance air travel, so you could get infected in, say, somewhere in Latin America, and then you hop on a plane and then fly all the way halfway across the world to get to another place with the virus in you. And when you land there and you get bitten by a mosquito, then you can then transmit the virus to the mosquito, who will then pass the virus on to other people who have not traveled out of the place. So I think that's probably the way that the virus got into China.
The CDC on Friday issued a level 2 travel notice for those going to China as the disease continues to spread. Level 2, which tells travelers to practice enhanced precautions, is on a warning scale of 4, with 4 urging people to avoid all travel to the region. There is no known cure for the virus, but there are 2 approved vaccines in the US which the CDC is urging Americans traveling to China to get.
Sheesh. Yeah, there's recommended vaccines you can get from your local pharmacy or a clinic, and they usually have a list of recommended vaccines to take before you go to a specific country. It's been a wild week, apparently. He's done everything to avoid it. Night Rain new Everdark boss runs? Ooh. Alright.
Hey there everyone, if you enjoy this content, like and subscribe, and comment down below. Thanks again.